being recorded.
Well, good morning, Akana Nation. So glad you guys joined us on this kind of brisk morning in Chicago, but that's still okay because it's a good day anyway, no matter what. I'm Phyllis Nash. I'm one of the 4 co-founders, and I would like to give a couple of announcements before we get started with our phenomenal speaker this morning. The site should be up and ready by 9 a.m. Central today. So if you're having issues logging in to help customers place orders, that should be resolved by 9 a.m. this morning. And again, we will be extending, because of that situation, we will be extending the buy 2 of the 7-day and get the 3rd free. And also today kicks off our gummy specials, guys. So buy 3 gummies, mix and match is okay, and the 4th gummy is free. So I wanted to get those announcements out of the way before we had our phenomenal speaker. So glad he's here I don't know if he's in the city. I don't even know if he's in the country, but he is here with us today because, he is that motivational speaker, always a student, so that he can come back and feed into us. He is our coach. He is our VP of training. And he is also here this morning, not only Pastor Dan, but Coach Dan. And he gives us a little bit of everything. And we are so privileged and happy to have him here this morning. You want to unmute, or I got you? You are unmuted, my dear.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, my Miss Phyllis. And merry birthday. I heard there's a birthday out there, so we thank God for another year of life. It is wonderful. I heard you say it's brisk in Chicago. I am in hot Dallas, Texas. It is hot in Dallas. And so I can't wait to get back home. They got the Heat on Hades address outside in Dallas. It is hot. I can't wait to get back home. And so that flight can't fly out of here tonight soon enough. But certainly we thank and praise God for another day, another opportunity. I say all the time, every day that we live, it's a day that we've never seen before, and it's a day that we'll never see again. So what's significant about that day is that every day that you live your life, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so the question becomes, what are you going to do with that opportunity? What are you going to do with your day? And that's why my day always have something to do. My day always have something to do. Every day I am executing something for tomorrow. Every day I am executing something for tomorrow. So I live in the present as for the sake of preparing for my tomorrow. So by the time I get to tomorrow, my tomorrow is a direct result of what I did on yesterday. And so it's important that we understand that. And as the reason I'm here in Texas, and some of you that's part of our email community that's on our list, you may have received an email of me asking your support of one of my clients who is an author. And so I'm going to talk to you today about how to execute a plan, something very simple, because all of us have plans. All of us have plans. Everybody that's on this call is always planning to do something. The fact that you're on this call, the fact that you are locked into this organization is because you have a plan. You got a plan for better health. You got a plan for better wealth. You have a plan to live a legacy. You have a plan to leave a legacy. It is your plan. But the question becomes, how do you bring that plan to execution? Because I've had plans in my life, and I planned it, but I didn't execute it. And so the outcome was not what I planned for because I didn't execute how I planned it. And so hopefully this is making sense so far. And so even last night I was coaching a couple of my clients, and as I was coaching them, it was clear. I mean, these clients are phenomenal people. They have a phenomenal gift, a phenomenal skill set. But the challenge is what they don't have is an executionable plan. They have a vision, but they don't have a plan to bring that vision to reality. They have goals, but they don't have a plan to bring to achieve those goals and so as I was thinking about that, I began to think about how many of us have vision, meaning we have this broad picture of where we want to go, but we never seem to get there. How many of us have goals, but we seldom achieve them with any level of consistency? And so what is it? And as I was listening in that session last night, as I was coaching, what I began to realize is something that you may have heard me say before. And I began to realize how essential this mindset is. And that is, there is no substitution for the lack of execution. We're always trying to substitute the execute. There's no substitution for the lack of execution. So I'm going to give you 5 steps. I'm going to give you 5 steps, and then we're going to get out of here. Because because here is what happened. This one particular client, so I have a couple of clients here in Texas. What brought me into Texas specifically was one of my clients who I met in December. When I met them in December, we were both hosting a huge conference together in Atlanta. And I said to them, and I began to hear her talk. And I said, you know what? I can help you. I said, I believe that I'm part of your destiny. I can help you. And because she had begun and been wanting to write a book for over a year and just could not get it out. She had a vision. She had a story. She had all of the components that was necessary for success, but she could not get it out. And she was stuck. And so that was in December. We met in January. I told her that I could help her. And the first thing we did was I said, when do you want to publish the book? When do you want the book to be out? She said, I want it out by my birthday. I said, done. Her birthday was 90 days later. 90 days later. And so the first thing we did was we crafted the plan. We began to develop, once we got the objectives. So that's number one. Let me go to my little notes. I wrote some notes down this morning. Number one, every plan, it must have objectives. What is the objectives? You must outline your goals that you're trying to achieve. And remember, we want to use, I believe in that SMART method. The goals must be specific. What are the specific things that we're going to have to do? The specific goals that we have. They must be measurable. How do we measure whether or not we're reaching our goal? Which means every day there's something that should be accomplished, and that becomes the measuring stick. Are they attainable? Are the goals actually attainable? Are they relevant? And then what timetable is associated with that goal? So the goal was to write this book and have it written and published in 90 days. So what we did was we put together a plan. The first thing we did was drew the outline. We wrote the outline for the book. When we wrote the outline for the book, each chapter in the outline had a certain amount of days that she had to write. And then as she will write, when she got stuck, we would get on a coaching call and I will coach her through how not to get stuck. I'm just showing you a process. And so within 90 days, so then she would not want to write. And I will force her to write. I would stay on the phone and coaching her through writing and all of that. Why? Because there is no substitution for the lack of execution. And every time she didn't feel like it, every time she was like, I'm tired, none of that mattered because we had a goal that we had to reach. So number one, you got to define your objectives. Number two, develop the plan. You got to break down the objectives into actionable tasks. That's what I was just showing you. You got to break it down into actionable tasks. Now, in this case, she was responsible. But for you as a team, you may have a team that's involved in whatever your plan is. So when you break it down into actionable tasks, that means you're going to also assign responsibilities. You're going to establish deadlines. You're going to make certain that there's an accountability mechanism in place. So if I assign this person to do that, if I say by this deadline, then I am holding them accountable. So number one, define objectives. Number two, develop a detailed plan. Number three, now you got to implement it. You got to execute what you develop. You got to execute what you develop. So we begin to execute. Long story short, we did a pre-launch date, a pre-launch party on her birthday for her book, and we sold a couple of hundred copies that day. Now, she wanted to go on Amazon and all that stuff. I said, no, not yet. Why did I say no, not yet? Because I understood something about the publishing date, that the date that you publish the book is when the clock starts ticking on the value of that book in the reading world. And I'll explain this. So then, so we gave her a strategy to begin to develop community centered around her book. And so I said to her in one of our sessions one day, I said, are you ready to go to bestseller? She said, what? How? How am I going to go to bestseller? We had a plan. I gave her I said, in 45 days, you'll be a bestseller. I guarantee it. How can I guarantee that she will be a bestseller in 45 days? I guarantee that she will be a bestseller in 45 days because we developed a plan. And we stuck to so I put together a 45-day plan. My team, we put together a 45-day plan, and we stuck to the plan without fail. So we established the Amazon bestseller launch party. That was this past Sunday. And all we did was execute the plan. And I'm going to tell you, Coach Dan got nervous because I guarantee you, this young lady, she made a nice investment for over 45 days in order to hit the bestsellers list. And it was a little rough, I'm going to tell you, because every plan, no plan always go as smooth as you desire to go. We had technical difficulties. We had a bunch of stuff to take place that third-party interferences and interruptions and all of that kind of stuff. But every time we came with an obstacle, we overcame the obstacle and we executed the plan. And we went right back to executing the plan. Listen, let me tell you, when Miss Phyllis and when we're on and we're giving you strategies and things of that nature, we understand that life be lifing. But if you're going to be successful, you cannot allow the life to life you out of executing the plan that you have established for your life to live. Let me say that again. If you're going to be successful, you cannot allow the life that be lifing to cause you to get you to pivot or to change the plan of your life that you desire to live. You got to stick to the plan. Do you make adjustments? Yes. Make adjustments where necessary, but you got to stay focused and locked in on the plan. And so we get here, we get to Texas. It's the wow now. So now we're promoting this lunch party. Well, what's the purpose of the lunch party? The purpose of the lunch party is to get a lot of people in the room and so we put together a schedule to what we're going to interview people that have already read the book. We're going to do a questions and answers segment. We found a location. We negotiated the menus. We did all of the things that we needed to do. And by the grace of God, come 11:30 p.m., and you only got to 11:59, come 11:30 p.m., she had moved from like number 15,000 to like 156. But that's not a bestseller. You got to be within the top 100. By midnight, we looked, and we still didn't have it. And by 12:30 a.m., I looked, and she hit bestseller. What am I saying to you? That the next part of executing your plan is understanding after you've done everything that you could do, after you planned it properly, after you executed the plan properly, you just got to believe and trust God in the outcome. And that's what we did. She hit bestseller, and she extended her coaching contract with me, thank God. But it's important that a lot of times you don't reach the goals that you have because you don't execute the plan. There is no substitution for the lack of execution. If we say do steps 1 through 5, don't miss step 3. Because step 3 is just as critical to the outcome as steps 1, 2, and 4, and 5. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying to you? If we're saying that this is what you have to do in order to be successful in this business, do what we're saying do first. Execute that plan first. And when you master that plan, then you build on it. But don't pivot and go in a different direction and fail to execute and then say that it's not working. Because nothing will work if you don't work it. And here's the other piece. Nothing will work if you don't work it properly. A lot of times, especially in technology, things happen and me, I'm one to tell you, man, this stuff don't work. I'm tired of this stuff. And come to find out, it's a user error. It's not that it didn't work. I just did not know how to work it properly. You have to execute plans if you're going to see success operating your life. And most plans are executed, write this down, you guys, and I'm about to stop. Most plans are executed through a system. Most plans should be executed through a system. There should be a system for executing your plan. What is the system? Follow the system. And so, hopefully, that little story that I shared was a story of a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of information and education to kind of help you to go from being a dreamer to living out the reality of your dreams out loud, to help you from being one that sets goals to actually achieving those goals, to help you from being a visionary to seeing to putting the daily activities together so that vision can come to pass. But remember, you cannot be, they say failure to plan is planning to fail. But the other side of that is you got to execute the plan. Otherwise, that's all it will ever be, a plan. Listen, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to pass it back to Mom, Miss Phyllis, our midwife, the warm and wonderful one. Thank y'all so much for indulging me this morning. Hopefully it was helpful. And I look forward to talking back to you real soon. Prosper.
Wow, 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 Coach Dan. What no better time than this to have shared this information this morning, because we had a new plan to kick off yesterday. It's going to be implemented on September 1st, but the plan needs to start being executed right now. And so, guys, if you were not on the call last night, I encourage you, if Dr. Ross has put it back into the app, I don't know where it is, but you got to go listen to the call, because just what he said, there's a system to get through any plan that you want to execute, and you can't leave out any step. He just put it out there. I took copious notes. Hope you did too, because you need to go listen to that overview presentation yesterday that we had last night. You need to get in your notes and be able to follow your plan, use our system, and you need to execute. Because if you do, the end of this quarter will be phenomenal for every person hearing my voice. So all your team members, you should make sure they get on that call. And again, the website should be up and moving. I announced at the beginning of this call. By 9 a.m. there was still some kinks, but they should be all ready, and you should be able to order at 9 a.m. That extension for the special on yesterday, buy 2 and get 1 free on the 7-day, will be extended to today. And today's special is buy 3 gummies, get the 4th one free. And yes, you can mix and match. And so with that being said, thanks so much. We didn't even talk, but you brought it in. And before I give it to whoever is asking me, I know Dr. Betty is on the line. Dr. Betty, do you have the scheduling for tonight? I just saw you. Where you at? Oh, there you go. And I think that was Ernestine's voice I heard. Did I hear somebody's voice?
It was.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. This is Dr. Betty.
Okay.
And so greetings, everybody. That inspirational, educational piece was on point this morning. Thanks, Coach Dan. So this evening, we're actually going to follow the plan, which is to continue with the video that we started last week. And then we'll do questions and answers and talk about some of our products as it relates. So I look forward to seeing everybody tonight at 7 p.m. sharp. Have a great day.
Dr. Roz, I hear you. Thank you, Dr. Betty. I see you've unmuted, so I'm sure you have an announcement.
Yes, ma'am. The presentation from last night is in 2 places. One, it's on the app under a category called Blood Type Campaign. That's under your recordings on the app. It's right there. And secondly, I just sent out an email with today's updates, probably about 15, 20 minutes ago. And I put that recording in the email. So it's in your email and it's in your app.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you very much. We know we can always count on our Dr. Roz, servant leader of Akana, and I'm sure many, many other places and communities and churches and neighborhoods. So thank you, Dr. Roz. Anybody else before we go out and push? Well, all right. Thank you, everybody, for attention.
Phyllis, I'm sorry. I also put in there the reminder of the presentation you're doing at 1 tomorrow.
Girl, I was supposed to. Thank you very much, but I'm excited about that, guys. That 1 p.m. event is picking up, as well as the 6 p.m. on Wednesday evening. So make sure that you're bringing your guests out, because we are having new customers, new people, and this blood type, campaign is just gonna blow our businesses up. This is something each and every one of you can do, and like I said, it'll close out the end of the year so well, making everybody happy. So with that being said, go out and push. Bye, everybody. Thank you.